You walk by the mirror. You're not expecting to notice anything, but there it is, those faint horizontal lines on your neck. At first, they were barely visible. Now they seem to deepen with every passing year. You touch your neck gently, wondering when these Venus rings, as they're called, began to appear so boldly. And the real question bubbles up, is it too late to make them fade? The answer, thankfully, is no. Not only can you reduce them, but with just 3 simple exercises done daily, you can lift, smooth, and tighten the very skin you once thought was beyond repair. Now, let's be clear. The neck is one of the most sensitive and expressive parts of your body. It shows stress, it shows posture, it shows age, but unlike other parts of your body, you likely haven't trained it. You've trained your arms, maybe your legs, but your neck? Most of us don't even know we can exercise it. And that's the first shift that needs to happen. This isn't just about skincare, it's about giving your neck the strength, circulation, and movement it needs to fight gravity naturally. The first exercise we introduce is called the Swan Stretch. Simple, elegant, and deceptively powerful. Sit or stand up straight, shoulders relaxed, tilt your head back slowly until you're looking at the ceiling. Now, with your lips closed, begin a slow chewing motion as if you're chewing a piece of gum high in your mouth. You'll feel the stretch right along the front of your neck. The platysma muscle, one of the most overlooked muscles in your face and neck, is engaging. Do this for 30 seconds, rest, then repeat. Over time, this motion firms the lines along your jaw and boosts elasticity. Next comes the neck glide. Sit in a chair, back straight. Imagine your chin is on a horizontal sliding rail. Without tilting your head up or down, slowly push your chin forward as far as it will comfortably go. Then pull it back, creating a subtle double chin. Repeat slowly for 10 reps. This exercise tones the deep cervical flexors, essential for posture and tightening the skin. It's like Pilates, but for your throat. And finally, we bring in the kiss the sky. This one is fun and it works. Tilt your head back again, look up, and pucker your lips like you're about to kiss the sky. Hold that pucker for 5 seconds. Relax. Repeat 10 times. You'll feel a gentle pull from your jawline to your collarbone. This not only lifts the lower face, but directly counters sagging skin. The repetition creates micro resistance, and resistance equals change. But let's not pretend this is just about physical motion. There's a deeper story happening here. When you decide to train your neck, when you start caring for it with deliberate movement, you send a signal to your brain that you still value this part of yourself, that you haven't given up, that beauty isn't a privilege reserved for youth, but a discipline cultivated at any age. And that mindset alone begins to shift how you carry yourself. The truth about Venus rings is that they're not just about skin, they're about posture, hydration, movement, and even breathing. The more we hunch, stare at screens, tuck our chins downward, the more pressure we place on our neck. It's not just time, it's lifestyle. So we pair these exercises with awareness. Every time you find yourself slouching, pull your shoulders back. Every time you're waiting at a stoplight, try a quick glide. These micro moments add up. Now, if you truly want to amplify the results, add in a warm compress before your exercises. A soft towel soaked in warm water, placed on your neck for just 2 minutes, opens up the blood vessels, softens the fascia, and makes the muscles more pliable. Post-exercise, apply a light, natural oil like almond or jojoba and massage it in with upward strokes. This not only locks in hydration, but increases circulation and lymphatic drainage. It's not about expensive products, it's about consistent touch, attention, and time. There's something uniquely powerful about training a part of your body that society has overlooked. It's reclaiming your confidence, your presence, and your sense of self-worth. The neck, after all, is what frames your face. It's what holds your head high. And when your head is high, your energy follows. So if you're watching this and feeling skeptical, wondering if 3 little exercises could really make a difference, know this: every transformation begins with something small. What seems minor today becomes momentum tomorrow. That first day you glance in the mirror and see the rings softening. That's not a coincidence. That's the return on your discipline. And as the weeks pass, it's not just about seeing fewer lines, it's about feeling a new strength in the way you hold yourself. You're no longer shrinking away from the camera, no longer hiding under scarves or high collars. You walk taller, smile fuller, and you begin to own your reflection again. And that is something no cream, no surgery, no shortcut can give you. You might be surprised to learn that the neck tells more of your story than your face ever will. It reveals how much stress you've held, how many hours you've spent hunched over screens, and how often you've forgotten to care for yourself while caring for everything else. And yet, for all the neglect, the neck is incredibly responsive. With just a bit of effort, it begins to change. It begins to glow. And as it tightens, smooths, and strengthens, so does your sense of pride in your appearance. You begin to feel that shift inside, the one that says, I still matter, I'm still beautiful, I'm still in control. These three exercises we've already introduced, the Swan Stretch, the Neck Glide, and the Kiss the Sky, are powerful on their own, but when combined with the right lifestyle support, they become transformative. Think of them as the foundation. Now we begin to build the rest of the house. The next piece is posture, because your posture is the silent partner to every muscle in your neck. Poor posture tightens the wrong muscles and weakens the ones that keep your neck youthful and upright. Throughout the day, imagine there's a string gently pulling the top of your head toward the ceiling. Let your shoulders relax down and back. Let your chest open, not in an exaggerated way, but just enough to stop the habitual hunch. When you sit at a desk, make sure your screen is at eye level. Keep your chin level, not pointing down. These little posture corrections done thousands of times a day completely rewire your muscle tone. They don't just prevent future sagging, they reverse current damage. Now let's talk about hydration. Internally and externally, skin loses its elasticity when it's dry and inflamed. That's when lines deepen and become stubborn. Venus rings are no exception. So here's your new routine. Wake up and drink a full glass of water before anything else. No coffee, no tea, just water. This flushes your lymph system and hydrates your skin from within. Throughout the day, aim for half your body weight in ounces of water. Add lemon or cucumber if you need flavor, but stay consistent. Within a few weeks, you'll notice plumper, more supple skin. On the outside, keep it simple. Use a light, non-comedogenic oil like rosehip, argan, or squalane. Apply it in upward strokes, just like you're brushing your skin gently toward your ears. Take time here. Make it a ritual. Light some calming music, look in the mirror, and thank yourself for showing up for your body. When you bring intention into self-care, it no longer feels like maintenance, it feels like self-respect. But perhaps the most overlooked part of neck care and Venus ring reduction is your breath. Yes, breathing. The way you breathe affects the muscles of your face and neck more than you realize. Shallow chest breathing keeps your shoulders tight and your jaw clenched. Deep belly breathing, however, relaxes the entire neck chain. So, begin incorporating 4-7-8 breathing before bed. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale for 8. Do this 5 times. Not only does this lower cortisol, it activates the parasympathetic nervous system and allows tension to melt from your neck. Less tension means fewer lines. Now let's expand your routine by adding one more movement, the neck fan. This is a dynamic movement that works the lateral sides of your neck, often ignored in typical workouts. Here's how to do it. Sit tall. Slowly tilt your head to the right, bringing your right ear toward your right shoulder. Then pause and stretch gently with your hand. Return to center. Now tilt to the left and repeat. Do this side-to-side motion for a full minute. Then add small rotations like you're drawing a semicircle with your chin across your chest. This activates the scalene muscles and improves circulation dramatically. It also realigns the fascia that causes skin to fold and crease. Some might ask, but can exercises really replace skincare? And the answer is it's not about replacement. It's about integration. Skincare nourishes the outermost layers. Exercise reshapes the foundation. Together, they create a synergy that no single method can achieve alone. One sculpts, the other smooths. But even deeper than that is the psychological shift that happens when you do something. When you take action, when you become the participant, not just the observer of your own health, everything begins to change. This is not just about vanity. This is about energy. Think about it. When you feel good about your neck, you hold your head differently. You speak more confidently. You look people in the eye. You stop hiding. You show up more fully. That confidence radiates outward. People notice. You become magnetic, not because of perfection, but because of presence. Now, don't worry if you're starting late. The skin has memory, yes, but it also has forgiveness. Every time you massage your neck, every time you do those exercises, you're re educating your tissues. You're saying, hey, we're not done here. We're waking up. And the body listens. Muscles begin to fire, skin begins to tighten, blood flows where it hasn't in years. This is regeneration, and you can feel it happening. Over the next few weeks, as you stick to this practice, begin to take progress photos, not to criticize, but to witness. Look at your posture. Look at your jawline. Look at the softness around your collarbone. These subtle changes add up. They accumulate into visible transformation. But don't just look, feel. Feel how your neck holds you differently. Feel the warmth after a good session. Feel the relaxation that follows deep breath work. That feeling is your nervous system saying, thank you. Another beautiful addition to your routine, contrast therapy. At the end of your evening shower, alternate between warm and cool water on your neck for 60 seconds. Warm, then cold, warm, then cold. This stimulates collagen production and brings nutrients to the surface. It's a gentle shock to your skin, one that promotes resilience and elasticity. Finish with upward oil massage and your skin will feel like velvet. And if you want to go deeper still, think about your pillow. The way you sleep affects your necklines more than you know. Ditch high pillows that scrunch your neck forward. Try a flatter pillow or a neck supporting orthopedic one that allows your spine to remain neutral. Side sleepers, be mindful. Use a silk pillowcase to reduce friction or train yourself to sleep on your back with a small pillow under your knees. Even this small shift helps reduce morning creases and long-term sagging. And as you continue this journey, let it evolve. Let it become your sacred moment each day. 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night. That's all it takes. Make it a ritual of love. No rushing, no shame, just presence. Massage, breathe, move, lift. Watch as your neck not only becomes more youthful, but more alive. Because this is not just about skin, it's about reclaiming the parts of ourselves we were told to ignore. Let this be your message to the world. You are not invisible. You are not past your prime. You are powerful. And the proof is written in every line you smooth, every breath you deepen, every time you lift your chin a little higher, not in arrogance, but in quiet, grounded strength. This is how you age in reverse. This is how you reclaim radiance. As you lie in bed at night, staring at the ceiling, your mind begins to wonder. Not to the things you accomplished today, but to the things you didn't. The thoughts you suppressed now return with more force. Regrets, worries, all wrapped in the voice of your inner critic. But what if, for once, that voice was wrong? What if your greatest healing didn't come from doing more, fixing more, changing more, but from releasing what was never meant to be carried to bed in the first place? There's a reason your body holds on to tension long after the day ends. Stress doesn't vanish just because you turned off the lights. Cortisol, the hormone your body releases when it feels threatened, doesn't care that it's 10 p.m. It only knows what you're telling it, that something is wrong, that the future is unsafe, that you need to stay alert. This is why sleep doesn't come easily for so many, because rest isn't a command, it's a surrender. And surrender feels dangerous when you've spent your whole life surviving. That's where it starts. The journey to healing, weight loss, better sleep, emotional clarity, everything begins with the way you end your day, with how you let go. Or don't. You see, high cortisol levels at night don't just rob you of sleep, they also block melatonin, the hormone your body needs to ease into deep healing rest. Your mind may be exhausted, but your body remains on edge. And in that state, it can't repair, detoxify, or regulate metabolism the way it's designed to. Instead of releasing fat while you sleep, your body clings to it. Instead of calming inflammation, it feeds it. That's why the phrase, do this before bed, isn't just a catchy line. It's an invitation to reclaim one of the most powerful, overlooked rituals of health and vitality. So what is this? It's not a product. It's not a pill. It's not even a workout. It's a practice, a discipline, a moment of reconnection that resets your entire nervous system. Before bed, give your body permission to exhale fully, not the half-hearted sighs you've trained yourself to accept, but a real release. Close your eyes, place one hand on your chest, the other on your belly. Breathe in through your nose for a count of 4, hold for 4, then exhale slowly for 8. Do this for 3 minutes. Sounds too simple? That's the point. The nervous system doesn't need complexity. It needs consistency. It needs safety. And safety is something you can teach it night after night. This single act of breath slows your heart rate, lowers cortisol, increases parasympathetic nervous system activation, the rest and digest state. You're not just calming down, you're reprogramming your internal software. You're telling your body the day is done, you're safe now. And here's what happens next. With cortisol lowered, your metabolism resets. Your liver, now unburdened by the flood of stress chemicals, begins to do what it was designed to detoxify. Your digestive system can now complete its process without interruption. Growth hormone production increases, which helps repair muscles and tissues and supports the breakdown of stored fat for energy. Yes, you can burn fat while you sleep, but only if your body is not under threat. Now let's take it a step deeper. Because the body follows the mind. If your thoughts are racing, it doesn't matter how perfectly you eat or how much magnesium you take, your body will remain in alert mode. That's why the second piece of this pre-sleep ritual is mental release, a technique I call the 3-sentence dump. Before you close your eyes, grab a pen and paper or even your phone and write down 3 simple sentences. 1. What you're grateful for today. 2. What you're letting go of tonight. 3. What you are inviting in for tomorrow. Something like, I'm grateful I had a quiet moment to myself. I'm letting go of worrying about things I can't control. I'm inviting peace and clarity into tomorrow. This isn't just journaling, it's psychological closure. You're drawing a line between the chaos of the day and the healing of the night. You're giving your brain a signal. I've processed this. You no longer need to hold it. And that signal rewires everything. Do this for a week and you'll start to notice your body responds more quickly. Your heart rate drops sooner. Your digestion improves. You may even find yourself waking up before your alarm, not groggy, but alert. Your body isn't fighting through sleep, it's working with it. You become lighter, not just physically, but emotionally, because cortisol doesn't just store fat, it stores emotion, anger, resentment, fear. All the things we suppress during the day get filed away into our tissues. That stiffness in your neck, that tightness in your chest, it's not just posture, it's memory. The body keeps the score, as the saying goes. But every night, you're given a chance to reset the scoreboard. Imagine what would happen if every evening became sacred, not filled with screens, noise, and last-minute to-dos, but with intention, with breath, with gratitude, with release. You wouldn't just sleep better, you'd wake up to a different version of yourself, more grounded, more clear, more capable of making aligned decisions, not panic-driven ones. You'd eat differently, not to numb emotion, but to nourish the body. You'd move differently, not out of guilt, but out of joy. And over time, the weight your body no longer needs to protect itself begins to fall away effortlessly. Because here's the truth, your body doesn't want to store fat. It does so only when it believes it's unsafe to let it go. And safety isn't created by punishment. It's created by presence, by breath, by intention, by rituals that tell your body you are loved, you are safe, you can let go. Even the deepest trauma responds to this language. Now let's bring this full circle because many people ask, what supplements should I take before bed to lower cortisol? What's the best food to eat? What's the perfect bedtime routine? And those things do matter. Magnesium glycinate can be powerful. A small amount of tart cherry juice can support melatonin. Avoiding blue light helps. But none of these things will work if the foundation, your relationship with your body's stress response, is broken. No supplement can replace the effect of feeling truly safe inside your own skin. And that's what this ritual does. It rebuilds trust between your mind and your body, between your past and your future, between who you were in survival and who you are in healing. So tonight, when the day's done and the world gets quiet, don't just collapse into bed hoping for rest. Create it, protect it, honor it, because how you sleep determines how you live. And you deserve to live in peace, not panic. You deserve to wake up free, not inflamed. You deserve to look in the mirror and see a body that's not burdened by the past, but alive with possibility. It starts tonight. Right now, close your eyes, place your hand on your heart, and remind yourself you are safe, you are home, you can let go. And as your breath slows, you begin to realize something else. Your body has been waiting for this moment, not for perfection, not for productivity, but for presence. In a world that constantly demands more from you, this is the first moment of the day where nothing is expected. You are not being measured, you are not being watched. You are simply allowed to be. And in this being, real transformation begins. Because healing doesn't happen under pressure. It happens in softness, in surrender, in silence. It happens when the noise fades, when the lights dim, and when you no longer resist what you feel. This is the sacred space where your nervous system uncoils from its daily tension, where your mind stops chasing every fear, and where your hormones begin to shift, not in response to stress, but in alignment with nature's rhythm. Your body knows what time it is. It's been keeping time longer than any clock on your wall. And right now is telling you this is the hour of restoration, the hour where fat is released, inflammation reduced, memory consolidated, and cells repaired. But it can only do this if you allow it. Because the body doesn't fight you, it follows you. If you treat it like a battlefield, it will respond in kind. If you treat it like a home, it will begin to open. And once it opens, everything changes. Cortisol, once a necessary defense, becomes unnecessary. The mind, once cluttered with what ifs and never enoughs, begins to quiet. And the body, once locked in patterns of fear and fatigue, starts to feel light again, responsive, alive. But it doesn't happen in a single night. It happens in the ritual of showing up for yourself over and over with the same care you'd offer someone you love. So maybe tonight, instead of doom scrolling or replaying the day's mistakes in your head, you light a candle. Maybe you take a warm bath, not to escape the day, but to rinse it away. Maybe you turn on soft instrumental music or the sound of ocean waves, reminding your body of the natural rhythms it has always trusted. And maybe you turn your bedroom into a sanctuary, not a storage room of unfinished tasks. A space that tells your senses, here, you are safe. Because your senses matter more than you realize. The smell of lavender, the warmth of a blanket, the absence of harsh light, all of these tell your primitive brain that the predators are gone, that you are not in danger, that it's okay to turn off the alarm system. Your eyes may be closed, but internally lights begin to flicker back on in your immune system, your lymphatic system, your endocrine system, all returning to a state of harmony they were designed to live in, but couldn't reach while you were in survival mode. And here's something you may not know. Your subconscious mind becomes most suggestible in the moments just before sleep. That means this is the best time to speak to yourself, not with criticism, but with compassion. It's the best time to plant the seeds of your future identity, the version of you who is already healed, who no longer holds the weight of everyone else's expectations, who no longer carries guilt in her belly or shame in his shoulders, who no longer needs to prove worth through exhaustion. So whisper to yourself something true and kind, not something forced or fake, but something your soul recognizes. I've done enough for today. I am allowed to rest. My body is not the enemy, it's the messenger. I choose to release what no longer belongs to me. These are not affirmations, they are recalibrations. And each time you repeat them, you build a new baseline. You rewire the brain to interpret rest not as weakness, but as strength, not as laziness, but as nourishment. And the body listens. Suddenly, that stubborn weight you couldn't lose for years, it begins to shift because it was never just about calories, it was about cortisol, about inflammation, about survival. And when the body feels safe, it no longer hoards fat just in case. Instead, it begins to trust the process of release. But let's go deeper because what you do right before bed isn't just about body composition or sleep cycles. It's about dignity. It's about reclaiming the one part of the day that still belongs to you. Think about it. Most of your day is spent responding to emails, to people, to demands, but your night, that can be sacred. That can be yours again. If you make it yours, even just 10 minutes, no screens, no performance, just breath, just being. And you'll notice something strange happens when you show up to this ritual night after night. Your days begin to change too. You make better choices without trying. You say no to things that drain you without guilt. You stop needing caffeine to function or sugar to soothe. You wake up without resentment because the person who rested well is not the same person who wakes in stress. They are more resilient, more focused, more intuitive. Because cortisol doesn't just affect fat storage, it affects thought patterns. High cortisol shrinks the hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for memory and learning. It also hijacks the amygdala, making you more reactive, more anxious, more stuck in loops. But when cortisol levels drop, the fog lifts. You see options where there used to be dead ends. You solve problems instead of spiraling into them. You become the leader of your life, not just the survivor. That starts at night. That starts with you saying, enough noise, enough urgency. I will not go to sleep with my body clenched and my mind spinning. I will not pass this stress down to the next day or the next generation. Tonight, I choose peace. And when you do that, you don't just heal, you become an example. Your children feel it. Your relationships shift. Even your work improves because the well-rested version of you is magnetic. They don't need to hustle to prove they're worthy. They walk into rooms with calm confidence. They speak less but say more. They make better decisions, not because they're smarter, but because they're not hijacked by stress chemistry. And it all begins not in the gym, not in the office, but in the quiet, sacred stillness before sleep. So if you're looking for a transformation, if you've tried the diets, the pills, the self-help books, and still feel stuck, try this instead. Come home to yourself before bed. Treat the end of your day as a ceremony, not a crash. Give yourself permission to breathe, to release, to reset. Lower your lights, lower your expectations, and raise your awareness. Because your body has been waiting not for punishment, but for presence. And the moment you offer it, the healing begins. Now close your eyes again. Feel your breath, noticing the inhale like a wave coming in, and the exhale like the tide returning home. You don't have to fix anything right now. You don't have to carry the day into the night. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are just tired. And tired deserves rest, not judgment. So rest now fully, not just the sleep of the body, but the rest of the soul. Because tomorrow you will rise lighter. Because tonight you remembered how to let go. And as the night deepens, so does your connection with something you forgot existed. A quiet intelligence inside your body, older than your thoughts, wiser than your fears. This intelligence doesn't speak in words. It speaks in rhythms, in pulses, in the slow ease of your breath. As you begin to trust the stillness, that is where your real power lives. Not in the chaos, not in the constant motion, but in the calm you allow yourself to feel. Most people spend their lives chasing a feeling they could have created every night if only they stopped long enough to listen. We were never taught this. No one told us that safety was a state we could learn to cultivate, not just a circumstance we stumbled into. Instead, we were taught to chase results, to fear rest, to hustle until we broke. And when we broke, we were blamed as if it was our lack of willpower, our fault, our weakness. But what if your fatigue was never a flaw? What if your exhaustion is sacred? What if it's your body's final plea for gentleness? You see, cortisol isn't evil, it's protective. It doesn't spike because your body is betraying you. It spikes because it believes you're still in danger. It believes you still need to run. But when every day is a race and the finish line keeps moving, your body never gets the memo that the war is over. That's why this nightly ritual is so vital. You're the messenger. You are the one who tells your body you made it, you're home. The fight is done. Because when your body feels safe, miracles happen. Hormones balance, belly fat releases, blood sugar stabilizes, blood pressure drops, inflammation cools, digestion improves, immune function strengthens, and your mind, it clears. But none of this happens by accident, it happens by intention. And intention doesn't require hours, it requires sincerity. So if you've ever felt betrayed by your body, misunderstood by your emotions, or trapped in a cycle you can't break, know this. The cycle begins to end the moment you choose to nurture instead of neglect. Right here, right now, before bed. And let me tell you something else the world rarely says out loud. You don't have to earn rest. It is not a reward, it is not a luxury. It is a biological and spiritual necessity. And without it, everything breaks down. Your hormones, your heart, your hope. So tonight, instead of pushing through another task, prove to yourself that your health is worth more than your to-do list, that your healing matters more than your notifications. Turn off the noise, dim the lights, let silence become your sanctuary. Maybe for the first time in years, sit with yourself not as a project to fix, but as a soul to honor. And maybe you'll feel something rise, a lump in the throat, a soft ache in the chest, the grief of everything you've been holding on to just to survive. Let it come. Let it pass through you like a wave. You are not weak for feeling. You are wise for allowing. And you are free, yes, free to release what was never yours to carry into the night. Because sleep is not the absence of movement, it is the presence of trust. And trust must be rebuilt. That's why we return to breath over and over. Breath is the bridge between chaos and clarity, between fear and freedom, between survival and serenity. Let your breath guide you. Let it be slower than you think it should be. Let it stretch you into stillness. And just notice how your body softens the moment you stop fighting it. Your shoulders drop, your jaw loosens, your spine lengthens. This is what safety feels like. And as that feeling deepens, the chemistry inside you shifts. Cortisol fades, melatonin rises, your body enters a state known as anabolic repair, the opposite of stress. This is when your body builds, replenishes, regenerates. The fat that was once stored as protection begins to convert into fuel. Cells that were inflamed begin to renew. Even your gut microbiome changes with better sleep. Serotonin, your feel-good chemical, begins to rise, not because of a supplement, but because your body is finally being listened to. You're not fixing yourself. You're returning to yourself. And in that return, you realize something profound. The body was never the problem. The stress was. So the solution isn't another extreme diet, another punishing workout, another guilt-ridden morning. The solution is rhythm, ritual, reconnection. This is the medicine most people never take: stillness. Not forced, not stiff, but gentle, flowing, sacred stillness. And the more you drink it in, the more it heals you. Because what you do before bed doesn't just change your night, it changes your next day. Your entire hormonal rhythm resets. Leptin and ghrelin, your hunger hormones, balance. That means fewer cravings, no more waking up starving. Your insulin sensitivity improves, reducing blood sugar spikes. Your body becomes more metabolically flexible, able to burn fat, not just store it. And your emotional body, it begins to stabilize too. No more waking up with dread, no more morning anxiety. Instead, there's space, there's clarity, there's confidence. That's what true rest gives you: the capacity to begin again. Clean, clear, empowered, and all because you chose the night before to put down your armor, to trust, to rest. Now imagine if this wasn't just something you did once in a while, but something you honored every night. Imagine the version of you who lives like that: calm, rested, grounded, not reactive, but responsive, not depleted, but radiant. That version of you isn't far away. They're already inside you, waiting for you to stop rushing, stop punishing, stop escaping, and start listening. Because you don't need another guru, another trend, another shame cycle. You need presence. You need breath. You need sleep, not as a passive event, but as a daily declaration: I choose to heal. And in that choice, the most powerful transformation begins. Not loud, not flashy, but real. So tonight, as you prepare to lie down again, take one more slow inhale. Hold it, feel it nourish every cell, and then exhale, long and slow, letting go of everything you don't need to carry into your dreams. Tell yourself softly, I forgive myself for what I didn't finish. Celebrate myself for what I did. And I rest, knowing that tomorrow will meet me with the strength I rebuild tonight. This is how you change your life: one breath, one evening, one night of healing at a time. And no one can take that from you. It's yours now.